Good morning. Today's video is going to be about the UFO subject, just briefly. I watched something the other night and it's pretty good stuff, pretty compelling, and I've done this. A buddy of mine turned me on to this 2 years ago when I was in Jersey at the beach, and a bunch of us got up there and meditated, and then we had this orb show up over the ocean. But before that, I was getting up early every morning and taking pictures of sunrise over the ocean. I was training this friend of mine. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put up a couple shots I still had on my phone. I don't know if they're screenshots of something else I had on there. It's my images, or if they're the original images, because I lost a lot of stuff on this phone not long ago. Anyhow, I'll also try to remember when I come home for lunch to go on my Instagram on my computer and get the link from that day. It was 91 weeks ago. I just checked it. And you'll see, because I took 3 pictures in a row looking out over the ocean, because there was this really interesting cloud formation. It kind of looked like wings of a bird or something, I thought at the time. I think that's what was going on in my brain now that I'm thinking about it. But the very first shot, there's a bright light pretty much dead in the center at the very top, just underneath the line of the image. And I saw it. I saw that with the naked eye, and then, or I think what happened was I took the picture, and then I looked at the picture, and it was in the image. And then I took 2 more pictures, and I looked at those, and it wasn't in the image anymore. But then the last shot is a crop of what I got. And it's pretty unique looking. So you'll see that at the end of this. So the documentary I want to mention, there's plenty of them out there. I mean, you could really overwhelm yourself with this stuff, all right? But I highly recommend people, in particular skeptics. I've got people in my own family, hardcore skeptics, to watch this. It's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And it's this guy, Dr. Stephen Greer. And you can look into him. I mean, his credentials are revealed in this documentary. He's not a jokester. He's been in government for decades, get in and out of it and dealing with these people and heads of state all over the planet. And it's pretty interesting stuff. He's come up with an app, actually. I think it probably costs a couple bucks if you want it, but you don't really need it. It's just telling you, explaining to you how you can communicate with these beings and then get them to interact with you. And so they'll do these meditative rings with different people, and then they're taking pictures, and what they capture in the images is pretty wild. It's like my UFO picture folder. I'll put a link to the video I did on that and a link to the picture folders on my Facebook page, which I believe I have set to public, so you guys can check them out for yourself. You don't see all this stuff with the naked eye most of the time, but it's there, and a camera can pick it up. It's pretty wild stuff. And I don't know, so like, just for my own mind, I have to want to get this out, because I had this experience. Well, in 2008 I took these pictures and I found all these UFOs in the image. It's one UFO, another one comes up, flies away. Then I started taking pictures of the sky, and they're there all the time. And it was a life-changing thing, because I started to think, okay, what is this about? Why is this? What would the purpose be? And I've come up with all my own stuff. And then 6.5 years ago, I basically died on the floor of my living room. I left my body, which was crazy. And in that moment, I was a pure light being. No fear of anything. It was just a very strange experience. And this voice talked to me, and I chose to stick around a little while longer. I was given an option. That's why I'm still here, to talk to you. Some of you are cursing it. Anyhow, that really happened. which made me come to the conclusion that we are all pure light beings. That's what our soul is, and we're coming from somewhere else, and we're having this experience. I've said this before in multiple videos, all right? Now, here's my issue with, because like if I was able to communicate in a meditative state, which I recommend everybody do as often as you can because it is just good for you. A lot of things come to my mind when I get into this state of mind. It's pretty crazy, some of the imagery that gets in there. But if I could communicate, I'd want to be asking all kinds of questions, and it seems like these people are kind of like acquiring buddies, basically, like from other worlds. And what I want to know is that what we really are? And if that's what we are, why do we want to communicate with it now? Because we're coming here for some purpose. And my thinking on it is the fact that you can inhabit this body and then have all of these life experiences, right? If you're a pure light being, you don't have a form to be in, then you can't do anything tactically or tactile-ish. Can't touch things or any of that. You can't eat food and have all these physical experiences, right? So you're coming here with amnesia, basically, for this purpose. Now, is there a purpose behind the purpose of being in a three-dimensional form? Are we supposed to gain something from this that helps us later? Right? I don't know. But I do believe that the world, this planet, is being run by malevolent humans that don't have our best interests at heart, that are screwing us up on purpose. And I don't believe that UFOs or beings from another place are here to harm us in any way, because if they were, they could have done it already. I mean, with the technologies that they clearly must possess, that they can pretty much do whatever they want with or to us. So, yeah, it's when you go down the rabbit hole on this subject and you learn about the government and these things and everything else, there's a lot of information there. You know, whether or not you want to believe it, I don't know. But there's enough convincing, compelling information for me to accept this as a reality. Call me what you will. I mean, it's the same thing with the Bigfoot thing. Those things are real, and I had my experience, and that changed my life. The interesting thing about that was I had that experience, and I blocked it out. Because your mind, when you experience something that you cannot make sense of, it is normal for you, for your brain, without you being in control of it, to push it out of your mind, because you can't handle the stress of trying to figure it out. I think that's what's going on most of the time in that situation. So anyhow, I'm just saying, it's a short video. Watch this, because the reason for it is we got to change things, all right? And when you watch this, whatever you want to call it, I guess it's a documentary, it's a film. And they talk about how consciousness and mindset and all that can affect the reality around us, right? And I've said it forever. It's like this life, there's a magic. I haven't said it forever. I've said it in my adult life, because I was unaware of it when I was young, and I went through my phases of being bitter and angry and woe is me, and you know, the universe is out to get me, things aren't working right, and being suicidal and depressed and all those things. I've gone through all that stuff. And I've had to change my belief system and mindset. And when I started thinking in a positive manner and choosing to do that, then that's when I saw my life change for the better. As a matter of fact, really, things were beginning to shift before I had my death experience, and then since then, it's been the best time of my life. I mean, not without stresses and issues, you know, but the way that I deal with it now is far different than the way I dealt with it when I was younger. And I can tell you that there's a magic to it where the energy that you put out there is the energy that you get back. So if you're positive minded, and I know this might sound odd to people because I come off as like, I read my comments. So there's these funny criticisms that I don't take to heart necessarily. Every once in a while I'll bring up a comment and make a video on it if it's somebody I think is just kooky, because I want to expose that way of thinking because of what I'm saying right now. This is really the purpose of it, because I want us all to get to the point where we're kinder and nicer to one another and thinking in a happier way to help change. Gandhi, be the change you want to see, right? So that's what it takes. And in this film, they show you these experiments that are wild, man. So they can photograph water molecules when water is exposed to positive thought, happy thought, nice positive music, positive messaging, and they get these beautiful images. And then the same water, they expose it to negativity and negative thoughts, and the water just gets all like these I don't know what it's called, microscopic images. I'm not a scientist, but I know what a woman is. So you know what I'm saying? So and apparently we're being told they've done these experiments where they will take a city and they get the population number, and they'll get at least 1% of that population, these people, and it's like a little program, and they all meditate and think positive thoughts, and then the number of ER visits and crime and everything else goes down. I'm really compacting all of this into just a minute of conversation here. You need to watch this for yourself, because the way that this is revealed to you when you watch the documentary, it's layers of information that by the end of it, you have a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. It's hard for somebody to, if you watch the interview with somebody and it's a subject that you're into, but they only have 2 minutes of time or 5 minutes or less of time to speak with somebody, they cannot convey enough layers of information for you to understand and accept it as a reality. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to watch more of it so that you understand. Because I believe in it, I'm taking the time to make this video, which is at 12 minutes here already, because I want more people to check this out and look into it. Because if you're like me and you're watching what's going on in the world and how screwed up things are right now, and you feel helpless, as I do sometimes, like I literally pray about it, I'm like, come on, we need this to change. We need some help here. Well, if more of you were doing it with me, maybe we would see that change happen based on this science that's revealed to you in this documentary. Okay? The basic premise of it is these beings are from other worlds all over the place, and they're not here to hurt us. They want to communicate with us. They're really big on consciousness. We don't need all the other technologies. The ability to connect with these beings and have life-changing experiences here and making your life better, it's all possible right here within your own mind. You just have to take the time to do it. And I feel like we are purposefully being manipulated, misled, and distracted with bullshit at the same time with propaganda to create division amongst us here, so that we don't take the time to do these things. Because the people running the show don't want us to have the power. And the truth is, we have all the power. I don't remember where the lens is here. It's right there. Okay. The camera's spun around so I can see the back of it. I can see my face. I'm trying not to look at it because I realize I actually feel bad for you guys because you got to look at this. I don't even like looking at this. It's freaking ridiculous. So that's all I'm saying is maybe if more of us got into this, we could affect change. What's it going to hurt you to try it? You know what I'm saying? A few minutes out of the day before you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, go for a walk, sit down someplace quiet, and just put it out there. his technique, Stephen Greer's technique, is putting that out, that vibe out, getting into a meditative state. It's like a phone call. And then you want to start picturing Earth, and then you want to picture like North America, and you want to picture the state that you're in, and you want to picture the town that you're in, and landmarks and everything else to get them. It's like giving them a map to find out where you are. And people that do this will tell you, and they have video of it. Many people have captured these orbs that start showing up, or straight up UFOs in the sky, and they'll ask it to do something and it'll do it. I know that this all sounds nuts. If you're still watching this and you're like, this guy's out of his mind, I'm out of here, I'm unsubscribing. By the way, a lot of people have been unsubscribing. I get a few, I lose a few. I get a few, I lose a few. I think I gained a whole bunch because of Wonder Hussy. And then I'm being me, who I really am. And a lot of people don't like it. And that's okay. I mean, I gotta be me. And then the knife stuff and everything else. And now this UFO thing, and that's going to ruffle some feathers. But look, man, I'm just being who I am. I have this belief. I think it's real. I think that collectively, as I mentioned earlier, if we can just start thinking in a positive way, it could affect everybody else in a positive way. And yeah, I just think that there's people in the world, the government and everything else. It's a great book. I've mentioned it before. It's called Our Occulted History. And the basic premise of it just points to the fact that these ancients, they go all the way back to early Egypt. The people that are running the world today can trace their bloodlines all the way back to those people. Just to oversimplify it so that you understand. It's a great book. It's got 40 pages of reference material, you know. So I think there's something to that. And yeah. I mean, there's evidence all over the world, as early back as we can find, with cave paintings and everything else, of actual spaceships and weird-looking beings. And every ancient culture has the same story. People came out of the sky, created us, communicated with us, went back and forth, helped different people out. Tesla talked about it. A lot of people who've done amazingly great things for humanity have said that the ideas came to them. You know, some of them literally just come out straight up and say they actually spoke with beings who were talking to them in their mind. So this is nothing new. It's just, for some people, it's too abstract for them to accept it, because they've been conditioned to only accept the tangible, what you could touch right here, what you could see right here with your own eyes. And I think that that's a limiting factor. Anyhow, this is a positive message. Have a good day, man. Be good to one another. That's the key. Be as kind as you can be. And it's funny, because I say that, and I think you guys get a vibe from me. I'm also the same guy that will punch somebody in the face if it comes to that. I think that we need that too, you know, when it's called for. Anyhow, that's it for now. Have a great day. Once again, be good to one another. Come back often. Thanks for being here. And tell your friends. And watch that documentary. Like I said, I'll share it in the link below, in the description below this. There'll be a link to that. And at the end of this video, you're going to see these images. It's like I said, it's the sunrise. You'll see a little dot in the center at the top there. I don't know how well it's going to show up on your screen, especially if you're watching on a big TV. It might be a little grainy. Yeah, sorry. But the second picture definitely will be, because that's a tight crop of a tiny dot from an image off my cell phone. But there's an amazing amount of detail in it. Also, I'm going to include, because I did see it in my pictures, one of my UFO images, just because I still have it on there. I'll include that too. It looks nothing like the one from the sunrise. Different types of craft, possibly from different worlds, different solar systems, different universe. I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, I know I signed off like 2 minutes ago and I'm still talking. But just think about it like here. You know, the kind of cars that we make here are not the same cars that they make in other countries, right? Motorcycles made here, not the same. Like, people have different ideas. Does the same thing, but aesthetically, it looks different. Makes sense, right? Anyhow, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here. Bye.